video because you all voted to see Joya. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Make, how are we calling these? What are we calling these?
Well, I think they're peanut butter canna bombs that are chocolate covered.
Okay, we're gonna work on the name.
Yeah.
We haven't got the name sorted out, but what we can tell you is that it's basically a ball of peanut butter made with canna butter and chocolate coating.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
And these delicious, delectable treats are going to be made with the cannabis butter that we made in the previous video. And Joya is going to take us through this entire. I've never seen it being made, so this is a first for me. We've pre-measured for the sake of speed, and let's get going. So let's first start with the butter.
We nuked it so that we could get. We wanted 4 tablespoons of the butter, so we did that. But you don't want it liquid in this recipe, so now we're letting it get back to kind of the congealed butter.
Which seems to be what's going on here. Okay, so how much have you got in here?
So that's 4 tablespoons of butter.
Okay, 4 tablespoons of butter. Yeah. So that is not the entire recipe that we made with the previous. So this is now just a way of using a small amount of your butter to make a very simple, well, I'm going to say simple, but maybe it's not.
It's a very
we'll find out shortly. Okay, so what's the first thing we need to do?
So we're going to creaming, if you know baking, we're going to cream all of the ingredients together. I like to start with the powdered sugar. Powdered sugar, we have 2 cups of powdered sugar. That's our bowl. Loud. We're going to add to that a little bit of the dust. We're going to do, what is this, a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And,
okay,
okay, sure. We also want to add salt to this. It's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It kind of helps with the sweetness of everything and balances it out a little bit. We have that measured out here. I don't want to spill it. Okay. The messy part is the peanut butter and the butter. So with the peanut butter, it's 2 cups of peanut butter. For myself, I like to spray the cups with like a baking spray. If you have maybe a coconut oil spray,
that just way, to help get like the peanut butter out. When you
exactly.
Okay. So, and this, guys, you can, I presume, use any kind of peanut butter you like.
You can use peanut butter. You can use almond butter. You can use anything if you need it to be specifically, salt or low fat or whatever you need to do. You can just pick any type of butter. Okay, so we're gonna add to this the canna butter.
So now it is, I would say it's fairly thick right now. So how would you best add that in?
So same, I would take a spatula. So it was basically the same consistency as the peanut butter.
Okay.
So someone had asked previously if we could make these vegan. You definitely can make this into a vegan recipe. The sugar, you would have to make sure that it's something that is vegan friendly. A lot of sugar, when they're processing it, uses animal parts, kind of gross. So yeah, you'd want to make sure you use a raw sugar or maybe a beet sugar. Same with the chocolate that we're using later. You want to get a dairy-free chocolate. But other than that, you can totally make it into a vegan recipe.
Excellent.
We're gonna mix.
We're gonna mix until, what's the consistency we're gonna look for?
It's gonna be like peanut butter, but a little bit thicker.
Okay.
So this is gonna take a little while. Some recipes say use a stand mixer or use like a hand mixer, but I like to do everything by hand.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I know.
It's sort of like
your forms.
Yeah, no, but it just feels like you're really
getting in there.
You can really get in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that looks pretty mixed.
Yeah, it's all mixed in. It's really hard
to
get the icing sugar mixed in. You got to be really thorough with that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could use a mixer. I like to do it by hand. It's pretty warm in here, so we're actually going to refrigerate this before we use the scooper.
Okay. Should we put some, like a wax paper on it or cover it?
We could do a saran wrap over it to make sure nothing gross gets inside.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. How about we do that? We'll stick it in the fridge for how long do you think?
I would say honestly like 10 minutes just to firm it up. It's pretty
The magic ending will let us do this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stick this in the fridge, we're gonna get it hardened up, and we're gonna get right back to you. Okay? Okay, we are back. We have refrigerated this for about 10 minutes so that it's at least not too mushy.
Runny. Yeah.
And it's scoopable.
Exactly.
Scoopable, which Joya can demonstrate now.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I like to use a scooper that's kind of like an ice cream scooper. It makes it easier to get the balls onto the tray. If you don't have one of these, you can use a melon baller. That'll also work. If you don't have that, you can use a couple tablespoons and make a ball that way. You just have to fiddle with it a little bit. So we're just going to, this is parchment paper. We're gonna put the balls onto parchment paper. You don't wanna use wax paper. Things tend to stick to wax paper.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then once we cover them in chocolate, the heat from the chocolate may cause the wax to stick to the...
Okay, so I see that you were putting them about, I don't know, an inch and a half apart. They don't need a lot of space, but you don't want to jam them up too close.
That, and then when I'm gonna go to pick them up after, I want to be able to get in with a spoon.
Okay, so what's the yield we think on this?
So it should be about 50 balls. We'll see what the output actually is once we're done scooping. Again, you know, that one is not the exact same as that one. So we'll see what we actually come out with.
Okay. Okay, so while we're waiting for the balls to harden, we have these chocolate chips and we're gonna melt them down. Is that the...
Yep, so we're gonna melt the chocolate chips down. I like to use milk chocolate. If you want, you can use semi-sweet, dark chocolate, non-dairy if you're going dairy-free. But you also wanna add an oil to it. You can use coconut oil, you can use canola oil. You're gonna do 2 teaspoons of the oil to the chocolate chips, just to make sure that when you're dipping, it's a little more smooth of a product.
Got it. Okay, so we just want to make this all melted.
Exactly. Now we're gonna nuke it at 50% power. We're not gonna go full strength. It'll not do well. So we're gonna do 2 minutes total, but we're gonna do like 15 seconds, give it a stir. Another 15, give it a stir.
Okay, let's see what that looks like.
Okay. Oh. No, that was fancy right there.
Okay, so now this is melted.
Melted.
Nuked and melted.
Mixed together with that little bit of oil. Just you can see it's a little more glossy
Looks
and
delicious.
easier to dip with. So
I would just eat that straight out of the bowl. Like,
yeah.
Who needs this whole business? This would be happiness right there.
So we're gonna take these off of the parchment. Maybe they're not as frozen as we thought.
Oh, they're good.
All right.
Pretty good. They're fairly firm. That's, I guess, what we need.
Yeah, so firm enough so that we can put them in here and get them covered in chocolate. All right. We can.
Wow. She's a professional, people. She is a professional. So if you guys are not finding yours working as well.
I like to use a fork. I find a fork easier to work with. If you were going to use a spoon, then it would be a big glob of everything.
Ooh. Wow. Smells really good.
Back onto here. Maybe easier if you have like a second utensil to get it off of the fork when you're dipping.
Yep, okay. Okay, so we've got the balls covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
This is, it looks messy, but I mean, it smells incredible. And so I guess the reason that this can happen is it's just the melting. If you're trying for a perfectly round ball, I think you would want to leave those balls in the freezer for a long time to really make them rock hard.
Right, exactly. And maybe work with the window open or not under a lot of lighting, or only take out half a batch at a time, dip them and put them back and exchange it out. We were just trying to get it all done quickly, so obviously they've gotten a little soft.
So now we're gonna put these back in the fridge, freezer, overnight, whatever, and then they're ready to go. They're good to go.
Exactly, good to go.
So you prefer fridge or freezer, doesn't matter?
I prefer freezer. It works faster.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And here we have the final product. If you want them to be rounder, then I guess you just have to freeze them for longer.
Right.
That's really all it is.
Firm.
But it's good to sort of show everyone here that yumminess going on inside. You can cut them in half. So I think this would be a good wrap up to sort of talk about the potency of what this would be.
Well, so again, it depends on the concentration of your butter. And I would suggest for myself, because I really like edibles, I would use a medicated oil when I'm mixing with the chocolate. So for our purposes, we tried to keep them under 10 milligrams because we know that people maybe who are going to be eating it were naive. So we've made them so that they're 8.6 milligrams per ball.
So if you ate half of that, it's about 4.5 milligrams or whatever, and that seems like a reasonable first timer's dose that you wouldn't green out on, as they say.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as always, start low, go slow. Don't think, you know what, I'm a big person, I can handle more. No, this is a totally different animal than even smoking or vaping. Edibles are completely different, so really take your time with it. Wait maybe an hour and a half before you eat one, or before you move on to have a second one.
Right, because if you, like, I've heard people say, well, I don't feel anything yet, and it's only like a half an hour in, so it's probably that it hasn't kicked in fully yet, right? So again, it's a great caution to be able to say, just, you know, go slow, just eat a little bit, see how you feel in a couple of hours.
Exactly.
And then these ones here, like I said, these are a fairly nice size. Like even half of these would be a lot of a snack, I feel.
And you don't have to make them this size. It's basically, we'll put online on community how to do the calculations so that you'll know exactly the dosing for your batch. We thought we were going to make 50 edibles today. We actually ended up with around 35. So that changes the calculations of the math of the output that you have. So, but we'll teach you how to do all of that.
Perfect. Thanks again, Joya, for
Thank
doing
you.
all this for us and helping us and showing us. And we look forward to more lessons from you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.